Hi, my name's Sandwiches. Welcome to my channel. I'm coming up on 6 months of full-time van life, and I wanted to make a video with some updated essentials because I just watched the other video and there's a lot of things on there that are no longer on my list or even in this van. So I wanted to update the list because I now have been living in the city for a while, and the first one was when I lived by the beach or kind of up on this mountain. So my needs definitely changed. But a couple things that haven't changed, I forgot to mention these on my first video. I had them written down and spaced, but one definite essential is having a positive attitude, which is something I struggle with. A lot of things are going to happen, and if you don't have a positive attitude, you're probably not going to last very long living in a van or RV, bus, whatnot. And kind of piggybacking off of that is flexibility and adaptability. Is that a word? I don't know. Well, flexibility, shit comes up. You may get the knock and have to move. No big deal. I was so worried about getting the knock, and now I've gotten plenty of knocks. I don't worry about it. You may break down. You just have to be able to go with the flow, or else you'll get super stressed out. I'm now going to kind of rattle off some things that I think everyone should have. Fire extinguisher, obvious. Natural gas detector, another kind of obvious one. One of these bad boys up above me, vent fan, exhaust fan, whatever, one of those puppies. I don't use it at all right now, but in the summer I use it a ton. And on the other end of that is a heat source. I thought that I would be okay being in California, not needing heat, but I was wrong. So I picked up a propane Mr. Buddy heater, whatever the fuck, and I don't like it, so I purchased one of those Chinese diesel heaters, but I have to install it yet. I wish I would have taken the money I spent on the propane heater and put it towards this diesel heater. Ton of moisture. It gets expensive. One little propane bottle doesn't last long, and I don't want to mess with a bigger propane tank and a converter or whatever the fuck. So but some kind of heat source. Window covers are another must-have for everyone. These are just cut out of Reflectix. You can buy custom-made ones with magnets and whatnot, and they're super expensive, but hey, if you got that kind of money, do it up. Gym membership. You can shit and shower, kind of essentials. I currently have a Anytime Fitness membership, but I'm trying to cancel that and switch over to Planet Fitness just because of the cost. And while you're there, might as well get a workout in. Feels good, right? I apologize if you can hear background noise. I live in the city. I'm in a Best Buy parking lot. There's no quiet spot in the city, so I just roll with it. Everyone should have some kind of a tool set. Mine is pretty basic, but it has everything I need. Even if you don't use it on the exterior or like under the hood, you'll probably need to make repairs inside because of all the vibrations and bumps. Things are going to come apart, crack, need to be replaced. So a nice little tool set with at least like screwdrivers, wrenches, socket set, adjustable wrench, hammer, just kind of the basics. I think a AAA membership is a good idea. It's not very expensive for an entire year. It's good to just have that peace of mind where, hey, if I break down, I can get towed, I can get jumped. So many things that they offer, but they do take a really long time. But even if you don't use it, you can use the card for things. Like I tried unlocking a door with this one, it didn't work. I've also used it to scrape ice off my windshield, thinking, hey, I'm in California, I don't need an ice scraper. I did leave my lights on like a dingus at the beach and had to call them. It was like 2 hours and they came and gave me a jump. But that brings me to my next item. After that, I bought one of these numbers. Kind of expensive. I think it's like $100 and something, but this will start your vehicle. Pretty handy. I used it the other day when my van wouldn't start. I didn't think it was my battery, but it definitely ruled it out for sure. But I did use it at a gas station. This guy needed a jump, and so I pulled it out and gave him a jump. So another good little item. The next one I put off for a very long time, longer than I should have, and that's a tracking device of some sort. I have a Apple AirPod hidden in here, so if someone does steal my van, I can just you know, find out where it is and go and punch them in the face and steal it back. Kind of on that same note is a wheel lock. I think even just people seeing this on there, they're like, oh, I'm not even going to mess with that. So this is one that like goes on the steering wheel and then, you know, they can't, I don't know, whatever. I think everyone should have some kind of self-defense items in the van. I haven't had to use anything or even come close to it, but I do have a few things that I feel comfortable using, kind of hidden around, and I always carry a small knife in my pocket as well. But whatever you feel comfortable having in your van, I'll leave it at that. I feel like all the items I've listed so far are essentials for everyone, no matter what. But these next ones are just kind of things I prefer. I had these on my last list, and I still use them often. I have this pot with the really thin sides, so it heats up really quickly. Cast iron skillet and a metal spatula. These are nice because you can just wipe them down. You can just wipe them down and put them away. I think it's also helpful for me because I don't eat any animal products, so I don't really know what you have to do if you're cooking flesh on them. You might have to treat it differently, I don't know. This is a single burner propane stovetop. It also runs off of butane, but I use the propane. I did have a double burner on the original countertop that I used to have, but I replaced that because I wanted that counter space, and also the propane tank was kind of large. It wasn't one of those big boys, but it was still taking up too much room, more room than I wanted it to take up. So I like this one. I never need more than one burner at a time, and I can just tuck this away somewhere when I'm not using it. So I like this guy. This was also on my original list. This is like a quick drying towel. This one's made by 4 Monster. They don't do the best job of drying you off. They do dry you off, it just takes more time. But the nice thing is they dry off really quick, so I'll just hang it up or drape it over my seat, and in no time it's dry. And it also folds up super small, which you won't get in a normal towel. I got this broom here. I started out with just a small hand broom, thinking, hey, this is a tiny area, I don't need a big ass broom. I was wrong, so I bought a full-size broom, and that just took up a ton of room. So I bought this little sucker, and it collapses down and then comes full size, so it's pretty handy. I just have a little hook thing on the wall here that I pop it into, and it's really nice, and I seem to sweep more now that I have a full-size nice broom. These puppies were also on my last list. It's laundry detergent strips. Rather than having the powder or the liquid, they're just flat strips, and they don't take up much space, and I like them. That's the one that I bought 6 months ago, and I still have some left. I don't really do laundry that much. Now we're going to get into the dirty stuff. Last time I mentioned pee jugs. I had 2 clear jugs made just for pee, and I didn't like them because they were so obvious. They were clear so you could see the pee in there, and if I just had them sitting out and my door's open and I was like, oh, there's pee there, and then when I had to dispose of it, I'd be carrying these jugs of pee, obvious. So one night, and they're really small. You don't realize how much you pee until you are peeing into a container. We pee a lot. And so one night I filled up my pee jugs, and I really had to go, and I was in a situation where I couldn't dispose of the pee, and I had this large metal water bottle that I don't use anymore. I bought it when I worked at a sanctuary and needed a lot of water. I have a smaller water bottle that I currently use, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna pee in this bottle. And I like it because I can leave it sit right by my door and no one knows that it's pee. When I have to dispose of it, it's more concealed. But this is the one that I have. It's pretty big, so holds a lot of pee, and you can't tell what's in it. But I do warn you, metal does some weird shit when you pee on it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And let's get even more gross. Let's talk about toilets. Sometimes you just can't find a public restroom, especially in the city. So many places don't have public restrooms, and that's disgusting to me. I feel like all places should have public restrooms. It's just like a essential right, in my opinion. But I started out with I don't remember what it's called. It was a 5-gallon pail with a seat on top, and that took up so much room. So I switched over to one of the toilet seats on kind of a chair, folding chair type situation, and that also took up too much room for me, and it was so obvious because it's so big. I just don't want people to look in here and say, oh, there's where he poops. So I found this one. You can't really tell what it is, and it extends, and there it is. They actually have a taller one, but it was more expensive, and this is fine for me, and I'm pretty tall. But folds up, and there you go. And last thing is another item that I think that everyone should have, regardless of where you live, whether it be in a vehicle or in a house or wherever, and that is a therapist. Especially men need to unlearn the toxic things that you were taught as a kid. You'll be happier. The people around you will be happier. So everyone, if you can, go to therapy. Another thing that I think should be just a human right, access to mental health care. Well, I think that that does it. If you have an essential that I didn't list that you think that I would enjoy, please leave it in the comments.